Good morning, guys. How are you?
Morning.
Everybody good? Everyone half asleep? You were fed up of my voice last night? Well, I'm back. Last night's session was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I liked last night.
I came away last night with a massive passion for British Friendly. I thought it was quality. And the stories that were implemented into it from Debbie as well, I thought it just made the session really, really good. So obviously this morning we're doing a social media session. You'll probably find that there won't be many on the session because we've got people joining at the minute that are in full-time work and they're having a transition from one job to the next. So they'll be currently working. They're not missing out, as we always do. We're recording the session. We'll be posting it on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube now, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, look at our other videos as well. We've got all our Sharpen the Saw videos on from Thursday evenings, and give us some feedback, drop us some comments, you know, tell your friends about it, pass the message on. So I'm going to jump straight into it. If anyone's got any questions as we go on throughout this session, simply unmute yourself and chirp up, have any input. If not, don't worry about it, because it's not really an engaging session. It's a session where I can kind of give you my experiences over the last, say, 4 or 5 years of posting through social media, engaging through social media, and doing it both personally and through the business. Now, one thing I'm going to say is, listen, I'm no expert, but what I can say is that I've done it for a long time. I've got a lot of experience in it, and I've kind of learned what does work and what doesn't work. And a lot has changed over the last 5 years, and I've had to adapt. And I'm sure you will commence and start as soon as possible with regards to your social media presence, and encourage you to keep up with the trends and, you know, changes you need to change. But I suppose we can start off on the one to say that, you know, social media, the opportunity there is absolutely massive. It is. The audience you can hit. You know, we've come from a world where people was giving flyers out. The current hit rate on a flyer is about 1 in 200 flyers. You can jump on Facebook and hit 2,000 people, 20,000 people with one post. And if you're getting it in the right place, and today we'll talk about how you can do that. You can build a personal brand, which I think is really important. And again, we're going to come on to that. And we're also going to talk about how posting isn't something that enables you to hit people automatically. You've got to do certain things to enable people to see your post and be able to engage with your post. And I suppose the way to start there on that one is to say, if you want engagement from people on your posts, you need to be more engaged in yourself. So you've got to put time into your social media. You've got to be consistent with it. And for me, it's not all about you. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. There's many people out there trying to achieve what you'll be trying to achieve on social media. So support them people, give them feedback, ask them questions, and then they'll come back to you and they'll engage with you, and you'll build social media relationships, which I feel, you know, is really important to be able to build your brand, build your presence, and create an awareness, you know, for what you do. Now, what I'm going to say is, I'm going to start by massively saying, don't watch this Zoom now. Don't watch this YouTube video now. Take everything in. To start with, don't write nothing down. You should have a pen in your hand, piece of paper, go old school. You should be listening, pulling out the bits that I think are best for you, but then do something about it. Because if I'm honest with you, I'll hold my hand up. I've been guilty in the past of doing a lot of Zoom sessions, a lot of training sessions, coming away from it thinking that was good. And then you jump back on your hamster wheel, you continue doing what you do, and you don't fit it in. So when I say fit it in, it's really important to have structure with social media. And what I mean by structure is have it in your diary. You know what I mean? When are you going to post? When are you going to reach out to people? When are you going to do video content? When are you going to create content? Because that takes time. Now, it doesn't have to take a long time, but to start with, you'll find that it does take a lot more time than it will in the future, because you've got to learn and you'll find what works for you. For me, there's really good ways of creating content through a lot of apps you can get on your Androids or your iPhones. Two that I really like are Pic Collage. That's a free app you can get that enables you to create images, put personal images in there, such as pictures of yourself, pictures of your team, that are always better than a corporate image. Let's say if you was to put something on like an umbrella and say an income protection, it's very corporate. You know what I mean? It's very generic and people have seen it all day long. Put a picture of yourself on, waving a bit of money or panicking because you've lost your money. Little things like that, people will relate to that because you were real, you're a person. So when you're building that structure, first thing I would encourage you to do is get your Outlook diary, get your personal diary, and say to yourself, I'm going to make a commitment today that I'm going to post. And we've talked previously about comfort zones and stepping outside your comfort zone. If you're in your comfort zone, you're going to fail. You're going to tick along and you're not going to do very well. Whereas if you step outside your comfort zone, put out video content. Everyone's scared of video. Make your video content, what, a minute long? No longer than a minute. People want to listen to what you got to say, but get to the point. Also make them short and sweet and repetitive as well. Because when you post, people will see your post, people will engage with your posts. But out of your current audience you'll probably find that about 7% of your audience will see that post. So don't be concerned about using the same post again. Use it for a month, post it twice a week, and people will start to see it. And this is a big one. People will not reach out to you with regards to protection. They won't. You need to reach out to them. You're very rare someone will comment on a post going, oh, can you arrange some life insurance for me? Oh, do you know what? I could really do some income protection. But what people will do is they'll engage with you on the post. And what that is, it's a hello. I could do with a little bit of that, but I'm a little bit scared of asking. So with regards to your posting, you need to mix it up. You need to make video content. You need to do images. You need to do statuses. And you also use different platforms, which we're going to go over today. Now, you need to ask yourself 4 questions. I'm going to start with this. I've got a little notes pad here to make sure I'm covering all the points today. But write these questions down, please, as we go. Why am I using the platform? You need to be able to answer that. And you might not be able to answer it immediately, but over the next month, you'll get to the point where you'll know why you're using it, what area you're using it in, and exactly, what it's going to do for you. So why am I using the platform? Who will this reach on the platform? That's really important. You need to know that, because you don't want to be wasting your time posting and doing social media presence if the audience you're targeting is not what you need. So you'll probably find that if you look at the different social media channels, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, you know what I mean? There's many more as well, like YouTube. They've all got different audiences. They've all got different brackets of people that are a different age range, different interests, and different purposes and different timescales of actually when they're actually using the platform. So people don't go on TikTok to arrange life insurance. People go on TikTok to probably get a bit of humor. Do you know what I mean? To actually see something that puts them in a good mood and thinks that's brilliant. I like that, and I'm gonna love it, or whatever it may be. I'm gonna share it. So if you're gonna post on TikTok, you can't post on TikTok talking about life insurance. You've got to create some kind of story that works, that's got humor to it. Whereas if you look at Facebook, for example, Facebook audience is an ideal audience for the financial services industry, I believe. It's probably a market of age 30 to 50. So when it comes to looking for families, working people in the population, they're all there for you to target market. So when you're looking at Facebook, you can be very personal about yourself in regards to, look at me, look what I do, look how I can help you out. But again, stay away from the corporate posts, because corporate posts are for sure going to put you in a position where you are wasting your time creating content that is been seen and done before. And I think the word is that you need to be unique when it comes to social media, because if you're unique, people will look at you and stand out. If you ever see a dog on a skateboard on a video, do you watch it? You do, because dog on a skateboard is not normal. I mean, you watch it and you laugh at it and you think, why did I just watch that video? But you watched it. And that's what you need to remember. You did watch it. So you need to be unique. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and buy a skateboard, but what I am saying is, think outside the box, look at what other people are doing, but do something different. Do something that's going to stand out. Don't be scared of making mistakes, because sometimes bad press is good press. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't be compliant, don't be upsetting people out there. But sometimes to do something outside the box that's a little bit scary and a bit unusual, people are going to look at that and they're going to go, do you know what? That was actually really funny. Or actually, that was really good and interesting. And they're going to wait for the next bit of content. And what happens is when they watch your content, they become familiar with your content. So that consistency you need to bring is really important, because once they've watched one video, what they'll find is when they wake up the next day and they jump on the phone first thing in the morning, who pops up? You pop up, because they've been watching your content. Now, if you're not posting the following day or the following week, then your content can't come up. It's impossible. So you've got to be consistent. So it's got to be fresh, new content. You can repeat your content as well, which I encourage you to do, because again, 7% of your audience will see a video you post. I mean, the other 93% still need to see it. So keep posting it as well. So what posts work best on this platform? Tongue twister that. Maybe coffee, huh? And the last one is, how are you unique on this platform? We've just talked about that. So them 4 questions, fly through them really quickly again. Why am I using the platform? Who will I reach on this platform? What posts work best on the platform? And how are you unique on the platform? You need to be able to answer the questions when you do a post. And if you do a post and you can't answer one of the questions, you need to find the answer to it. Now, it might take time. I'm not saying you'll find that today, but it might take time. But by doing that, it's definitely going to put you in a position where you're getting good engagement through social media. Now, I'm going to say something now, and I shouldn't say this at the end. I'm going to say it at the start. I'm going to say that using social media for 90% of your time at the moment, and probably for the next 6 months, is going to do nothing for you. Now, you're probably thinking, why am I sat here? Because you've got a career. You've got a career to put yourself into, build a personal brand, and over time, you'll become established. If you start a business tomorrow, how successful are you going to be on day one? Probably not too successful. Very lucky if you are. Over a month period, you'll start to build some momentum. Over 3 months, you'll become a lot busier. Over 6 months and 12 months, you'll start to become established and really put your foot into where you need to be. So it's the same with social media. You're building a marketing presence. Marketing is the biggest thing in any business. It's taken me a long time, being a business owner for over 10 years now. It's taken me a long time to realize that marketing is the biggest thing. So do it. Use social media. It's so powerful. Now, I'm just going to come on to quickly that there's 2 ways of engaging with people through the platforms. You've got personal and you've also got business. Now, today I'm going to make it all about personal. I believe that personal is the answer for you to be successful. Without sounding cheesy, you've heard me say it before, people buy people. If you create a business platform on Facebook, the only people that are going to see them posts are the ones that have liked your page. That is going to be absolutely pulling your hair out, because you're going to be marketing to 2, 3, 4, 5 people, 10 people, 20 people over the next 6 months. It isn't going to work. If you do a personal Facebook page, what you need to do is add people, make them your friends, request them, go into groups, which we'll come on to in a second, that you can find people within certain circles that you want to target, add them as friends. But of course, your actual platform in itself, your profile pictures, they need to be on point. With regards to the content about you, it's got to be on point. And it's got to, have some real life experience within it as well. Again, people buy people. So, if you've got kids, get on there with your kids. Do you mean if you've got interests and hobbies, post about your interests and hobbies. It doesn't all have to be about work. It has to be about you as an individual and why people should put the trust into you, see that you're a good person, then see that you're a knowledgeable person, see that you're giving them value. And of course, they'll then turn around and think, you know, Rachel is the one to deal with for that because I've seen her talking about it. She seems a cracking girl. She actually knows her stuff. I'm going to reach out to Rachel, or Rachel's already reached out to me. And actually, yes, I do want to deal with you because I've been seen about you. I've really wanted to reach out, but I've been kind of scared of doing so, or I've just not got around to it. So we've got to be proactive, as we always talk about. So personal pages for me are so much better than the pages you'll get that are more business-like, and I'll show you kind of how they're going to work now. So before we come on to that, you know, we're in the financial services world. When it comes to posting on social media, you're going to need a license. This sounds like, you know what I mean? I've got to go through more testing. I've got to sit down with someone. No, you've not. It's really simple. It's approximately 20 questions. Reach out to Primus, either your recruitment manager or your ASM, and ask them to set a Primus social media exam on your Training Matters portal. Once that is done, you can post away. Now, the reason you need to do that is because you need to understand the guidelines of the Financial Conduct Authority and what is allowed by means of posting. Now, the good news is, from a protection perspective, you can pretty much say what you want to say. Let me just say, actually, you do need to add some things in. But from a mortgage point of view, you've got to use certain wording. You talk about your standard fees. You've got to put in your home may be repossessed if you do not keep putting repayments on your mortgage. There's a number of things you need to do. So depending upon what you're posting about, you'll find that there's generic statuses and sayings you need to add into your material or into the status above your material. Video content, you might have to put it at the beginning and the end. But without doing the license, you won't know this. So you don't want to trip up. You don't want Primus compliance coming to you in 6 months, in 12 months going, we've just analysed your page and we can see that you've been posting not following the guidelines. It's a breach. So we're going to jump past this now because it's very dark and gloomy, but reach out, get your license done. If you're in the recruitment process at the moment, you can still ask for that to be added to your reading and testing with Primus. You don't have to wait until you're authorized. So get it done, get it out of the way so that as soon as you are authorized, you can post about you personally. Now, if you're not authorized yet, there's no harm in posting about your excitement or what you're going to be doing. There's no harm in posting about what we can do as a company that you are joining. You know what I mean? Just be smart in regards to what you're offering. But of course, one thing I will say is don't offer any advice on your posts until you're fully authorized. When you become a non-competent advisor, Primus will give you the green light. You can add elements of advice in there as well. But again, go through the reading with the testing, make sure you're covering, you know, all the elements that they need you to, and you know, work safely is kind of what I'm getting at. So Facebook, hands up if you've got a Facebook account. I expect anyone and everyone has, haven't they? So Facebook's very old school when you look at social media these days. What I'm going to do, I'm going to jump over to my Google page, which you can see we've got my background music. I'm going to jump on Facebook. What I'm going to do is make sure I can see everyone. Just give us a thumbs up if you can see Facebook. Lovely, thank you. So everyone knows everything about Facebook. You said you've got your own personal pages. You've got the option with regards to working practice, whether you have your own personal page and you work from that, or alternatively, you set up a new Facebook page as a personal page, but just change your name up slightly. So let's say we've got John Smith. He's got a profile page, personal. He's got all his friends and family on there. You might not want to use it. Now, his middle name's David. So I told him to set up John D. Smith. He's got a personal page and he's now got a page that he's going to use for his social media presence with work. Now, as I said before, you still need to put personal elements into your page. Don't just make it about a business because people won't want to imagine your spend. Your profile picture's got to be, you know, professional. Don't be on a night out with a tequila. I don't know why I said tequila then. It must be the first thing that comes to mind for me. But make it professional, but at the same time, make it real. Once again, you and your kids, or, you playing a sport, or, whatever it is, make it fun. But at the same time, don't make it, something that people don't want to reach out for. Now, with Facebook, you've got your personal profile page. Say, work on that yourself. Make sure that your about page has got a little bit of substance to it as well. But of course, when it comes to posting on Facebook, you've got the option to, write a status. Very simple. What you're going to write statuses about, it's going to be a matter of words. It's going to be a sentence. It's probably not going to give you so much presence and let people really want to engage with you. Of course, you can look to put photos and videos on. For me, the best, absolute best when it comes to content for social media is video content. I've got some stats knocking about somewhere with regards to video content. Let's see if we can find them for you. So views on YouTube increased by 99% over the last 3 years. Absolutely huge. Video is the one. We talked about TikTok, Instagram video, Facebook videos we're talking about at the moment. 258% it increased on Facebook. People aren't bothered about statuses anymore. You're scrolling, you see a video, you think, what's this one about? You watch the content. If it's for you, great. If it's not, you move on. So important. And Twitter, it's 6 times more likely to be retweeted if you do a video in compared to just a standard tweet. So it's all about video. It's all about comfort zone. It's all about get out your comfort zone. And when you're doing video content, don't do 10 takes. Prop your phone up, do a video, make it a minute long, and however it goes, post it, because it's real. That's the best thing to do. With regards to video content, I can't tell you how little time it takes when you don't overthink it. When you start overthinking it, and again, doing 10 takes, and then you start editing it, and then you start adding a logo at the beginning, and then you start this, that, and the other, of course, it's going to take you 2 hours. You haven't got 2 hours. So your video content needs to be sat at your desk. It needs to be on your lunch, walking through the park. It needs to be out and about doing your hobbies. It needs to be walking to work. It needs to be on the train. It needs to be sat in the car before you walk into the office. It needs to be real, and it needs to be consistent, as we keep saying. Now, I had a real stint at doing video on LinkedIn, and I always put my phone on my desk. I had Stanley, the little dog from Vitality, behind me. I had my certificates behind me, and I did it every morning. And what I did is I brought some energy. The content was far and few between. I didn't really ask for business. I just put content out there full of energy. Now, I got known as the guy off LinkedIn. Wherever I went, doesn't matter if it was Primus networking meetings, provider meetings, other social media platforms, people would turn around and say, are you that guy off LinkedIn? Which I thought was hilarious. Didn't know him, never met him before. Now, what they meant there was, you're the guy on LinkedIn, and this is what they said, that jumps on every morning, and you're full of energy. So I was known for consistency with regards to the energy I'm putting out, the time I was doing it, the place I was doing it, and people get to see it. Now, of course, you've got to make sure the content is also believable, also giving people value, because if you do a video and it's no good, the next time it comes up and you're in that same place and it's the same time, then they're not going to watch it. So you've got to mix up your videos. You've got to give value. Of course, you've got to give value, but you've also got to have gratitude, thank your clients. You do another video, which could be on a case study. What have you done for someone this week that worked out really well? What did you do last night? I had an amazing event last night. I learned all about blah, 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 blah. British friendly. Why are you telling them? Because I never knew how good it was. And I'd love to tell you more about it. So I'll be doing some content on it later this week. Short and sweet videos. People are like, oh, that sounds interesting. Why was it so good? Leave them on a cliffhanger. Leave them wanting more as well. So you've got to vary up your content. We're going to come on to that a little bit as well. Now, the reason I brought you on Facebook today is because, yes, you can post all day long, but you can also be really proactive when it comes to Facebook. And you can do Facebook Live, which again is video. It gives the ability that if anyone wants to jump onto your sessions and watch you live, they can do so. But it doesn't mean you can only watch it live. It then becomes a video and then goes out on your feed. So Facebook Live, you could consistently do a self-employed group every Wednesday at, what time would be good for self-employed people? 7 o'clock at night. They're working long hours. You know, they always get a call out at 5, 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock at night on Facebook, self-employed financial security, just as an example. Make it consistent every Wednesday. It's all about income protection. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to post about life insurance. We're doing a Facebook Live on life insurance. Who wants to watch that? We're going to do a Facebook Live on financial security for people with children or parents with children. Do you know what I mean? What does that tell someone who's a parent? Oh, wait a minute, that's for me. I need some of that. Wonder what that's about. Let me have a little watch. Oh, actually, Kaylee knows her stuff there. I can see that. Kid knows his stuff. So, oh, there's another one on next Wednesday. Maybe I should watch that. Or they stumble across it and watch it again. But what you'll find is people will watch your content. They'll like your content. They'll comment on your content, but they will not reach out to you. So you've got to be proactive. If you get a like on a status or a video, message them. Ask the question. Now, we've always talked about asking when it comes to referrals, when it comes to recommendations, when it comes to trustees, guardians, executors. Social media is the same. You've got to reach out. You've got to be proactive. You've got to ask people, listen, thanks for watching my video. I have some gratitude, like I said. Thanks for watching my video. Did you find it interesting? Ask a question. Yeah, he did actually. It was really interesting. I'm just wondering, could he help you out with that? You've got to be proactive. Do you need 4, 5, 6 people jump on your video and like it? Then, of course, them 6 people, once you reach out to them, you might find that 1 or 2 of them go, well, actually, yeah, we do need to do that. So with regards to the actual videos, it can be Facebook Live. It can be your own personal videos. It can be photos. If you want to do photos, it's so simple. The world of Google. Oh, income protection. Go on Google Images. Now look at all these images you can nick off there. Now, are they any good for you? If you look at the top left, I had that in the presentation last night. It's so easy to use the content on social off Google through the internet, but at the same time, that's very corporate. So self-employed. Okay, then let's go. I spelled that wrong. It'll still find it. We're getting somewhere. If we put a picture on of, let's have a look for a good one. These guys here, they're on the building site. If you're targeting tradesmen, when they're scrolling, a tradesman will look at that and go, that's me. So your posts have got to be relatable to your audience. Again, if you come back and you post an umbrella, unless it's raining, they don't want an umbrella. So I understand it's telling a story, but they want to relate to themselves. People like to talk about themselves, hear about themselves. And of course, by relating the post to them, whether it's tradesmen, whether it's families, whatever it may be, use Google to give you that information. So you can post. Now, as I said, use apps like Pic Collage for that kind of material, to create it, to put some wording into it. Don't put too much wording into it. Keep it short and sweet. Again, put a hook into someone, keep them wanting more, if anything. But when it comes to this, you can also look at things like groups on Facebook. So this is huge. Leave the page, groups. So you can see for me, babies come up all the time because I've been doing it. So if you're going to search groups, let's say you're going to do self-employed, you'll find that if the internet works, yes, the groups come up for self-employed people. Now, don't fall off your chair, but there's 50,000 people within there that are self-employed. There's 11,000 people in there that are self-employed. There's 13 in there. A Golter, last night I was talking about HGV drivers and income protection. British Friendly will offer them cover. They'll offer high BMI. They'll offer medical implications. They'll offer smokers cover. This is your audience, 13,000 people on that group. So let's go into that group as an example. Now, the groups will have certain rules. So some will say, you can't post about business. Okay, well, don't go to that group. But some of them will allow you to post. So you've got to spend the time in joining groups and becoming part of a community where you can be known as the go-to person for that product. Now, Rachel, I'm going to use you as a prime example here. You know, you've done hairdressing for a number of years and done it very well, I believe. I mean, you're generating clients at the moment through that field. It's exactly the same. What this does, it puts you not just in touch with your clients, but with everyone else's. So Facebook groups are absolutely huge for that. And again, you've got to be consistent. You've got to make the content relevant to them, relatable. Do you mean you don't need to ask for business? You need to give them value every time, make them understand, have an understanding, plant the seed for what they need. And then, of course, get around to asking when you want to ask. Now, you'll find through the groups that people will reach out to you. So again, you've got to, you know, be proactive, but also at the same time, you are going to generate leads yourself from the groups, and it's going to work really well for you. But you'll see within these groups, it's all about drivers, trucks, fuel, this, that, the other. That's what the group's about. So, like, for example, someone's posted about a bonus for HGV drivers. So you could jump on the back of that and say, do you know, we actually protect your income, including bonus. You've got to be smart. You've got to pull things out with regards to what's going to be relevant. Now, groups are great. You can, as I say, target where you want to be. And it doesn't matter what circles you want to put yourself in. With Facebook, it's really strong that you've got opportunity to put yourself within where you want to be in that specialist area. Now, the big thing is off the back of that, of course, is that once you obtain a new client, part of the self-employment group, who do they know within the self-employment group that they can refer you to? Who else do they know is self-employed? I'm using self-employment as a prime example throughout this session. So you're telling me that a brickie doesn't know an electrician, doesn't know a plumber? Yeah, he does. So if he's going to get a 50 quid Amazon voucher every time he refers someone over to you for your next client, you know, say to him, listen, who else do you work with on site? Can you give me 10 names? Don't ask who you know. Can you give me 10 names? Be specific in what you want. So with regards to the groups, you can spend all day long joining different groups. I'd encourage you to join groups, even join local groups. Like if you look at what groups I'm actually part of, electricians, CMAP group for regards to recruitment, mortgage protection, but then you come right down, you'll see things like hitching. You know, why am I joining groups that are local? Because you want local clients. People like to use local people. People are very cliquey within communities. You know, I live in Stopfold, which is a lovely village, Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire, and there's a group called We Love Stopfold. I post within that group, and I believe some of the team have posted within that group before. And I would say we've probably arranged hundreds of wills and protection for these clients through this group. Now, that generates business off the back of business. So this is where we talk about juggling balls all the time. Do you mean, where's your business going to come from? I'm going to network. Okay, brilliant. You're going to network. What else are you going to do? I'm going to do my social media. Okay, great. What else are you going to do? I've got my client bank to do my reviews on. Great. What else are you going to do? Juggle balls. It's not all about social media, but social media today is what it's about in adding it to your tool bag to generate leads, which I feel is just so important. So, you know, as I said, be proactive, reach out to them, and remember this with social media. If you're not getting likes on your post, it's not a competition of popularity. It doesn't matter. They're still seeing it. It's not about who's liking it. It's about who's seeing it. Now, that consistency, you'll find that likes and shares and comments will start to come. Great, of course, because it can be organic, meaning that if someone comments, then their friends will see your post as well. But at the same time, it's not all about that. Don't be deflated, I suppose is the word, if people aren't liking your posts. Don't think, oh, I tried that, did social media for a couple of weeks, didn't get anything from it. Expect to get nothing from it for the next 6 months. Won't happen. You'll get a lot from it, but you'll get more and more from it with the consistency and the time of doing it. And again, put time into it, have structure, and make sure that you're doing it Kate will laugh when I say this, Tuesday morning, Thursday afternoon, whatever it's going to be, because you need to have structure. And when it's in your diary, it gets done. You know, you can't snooze it. Don't allow yourself to snooze anything in your diary, that you're putting it in there for a purpose. So let's have a look. Facebook. I think we're pretty much done with Facebook though. I think the biggest thing with Facebook is the groups. You know, use the video content, build an audience, and just be consistent with it as well. Now, I'm going to come back to my PowerPoint just for a minute and flip it over to Instagram. Now, Instagram for me is more of a shiny social media platform. It's something to kind of show off your personality, because you know Instagram's all about videos and images. Now, there's two ways of posting with Instagram. You've got your story, which lasts for 24 hours. And you've got posts, which are going to sit there within your catalog of images forever. And it's going to build, you know, a platform where people can kind of see, you know, what is the brand you're working with? What is the area you work within? So again, when we talk about personal branding and we talk about, you know, being specific on where you want to work, your Instagram should reflect that, because people are going to use you because you're the go-to for that. Now, if you're jumping from self-employment tradesmen to mummies and daddies, and then over to medical professionals, and then to sports people, and they can reflect that within your Instagram, you're not personal branding yourself. So you really have to target down on your social media to make sure that that image is portrayed. Now, I'm showing you rather than my personal one here, I'm showing you the business one. Again, what I'd encourage you to do with Instagram is have a personal page, nothing to do with business. Now, your story, again, 24 hours, people like that. That's the world we're in. You know what I mean? It's relatable to the TikTok of the world. It's quick, it's fresh content. That's what people are looking at. So you've got to post on that, but you also separately have to post as a standard post as well. And with Instagram, you can use hashtags. Now, hashtags are there to generate a wider audience for you. So if you used to put hashtag self-employed, your image, your story would be sent out to anyone who's searching self-employed. So you can be very smart and think around plumbers. Do you know what I mean? Plumbers Hertfordshire, whatever it is, you know, babies. There's a lot you can do, and use hashtags, and use hashtags that are going to be relevant. People use hashtags that they make up, and they'll put hashtag I'm a great advisor in hitching. That is nothing for you. Absolutely nothing. It just looks good. So if you want to put it, by all means put it. It does look quirky, but it's doing nothing for you by means of your wider audience. Do you know why? Because they're not going to search it. It's as simple as that. Now, Instagram in itself, of course, it's about, you know, followers. What you can do is you can search in the search bar. You can look for things like certain groups, like baby groups as an example, baby photography, baby clothing. What you're going to do there, let's just go on the babies one. You can go into the 355,000 followers they've got on the babies one, and you can actually follow them all. Now, that's telling you something, isn't it? It's telling you that all these people that are following this site have had, or they've got babies. So if you're looking for a market of people and family people to target, add 10 people a day. Once a week, jump on and add 50 people. Because what happens is when you follow them, it comes on, somebody wants to follow you, they either accept it or it's automatically accepted, but then they follow you back, because it's the nature of the way of the world is that people just go press, press, press. They don't go, who's Rachel, who's Katie, who's Kaylee, who's Emma. Do you know, they don't do that. What they do is they just go on then, that's fine. So you're then building an audience, but again, you have to put time into building your followers. But again, if you start today, in 6 months, you'll have hundreds and thousands of followers, and then your content going out there will start to become relevant to Instagram. Now, again, mix up your content, but use it across the platforms as well. Between Facebook and Instagram, I believe it's all similar content you want to be using. Whereas LinkedIn, we're going to come on to, but I believe it's different style of content you need to be doing. So across Instagram and Facebook, there's apps you can do and you can use that will link the two accounts together. And things like Business Suite, as an example, they'll enable you to post on Facebook and it'll automatically go to Instagram as well. So look for them kind of apps. It'll save you time. But again, it'll throw it out there, and you can link other accounts in there as well, such as, TikTok to the world and many others, social media that are about that people are using. So Instagram, when you're looking at, it should be full of color. It should be full of interest. It should be full of smiling and happy. It shouldn't be saying, come to me for life insurance. It should be saying, this is what we are. This is what we do. This is why you should deal with me. And that's really, really important. Vary your content. People want to see different things day in, day out. As you can see here, the team in the office, we're all having a meeting. It's like, let me take a quick selfie of the team, post it on. That kind of post will get so much more engagement than you posting an image of yourself sat at your desk. The reason for that is that people relate to everyone sat in the office. You've all got your Christmas jumpers on there, for example. It's a bit of fun. Now, what business is that going to generate for you? Nothing on that specific post, because it's about Christmas jumpers and sitting in an office. But when people like that, and then the next hour or the next day you do a post on income protection for self-employment, because they've liked that post, they'll see your next post. They become familiar with you. So that's really important. So keep mixing up the content. As you say, there's a lot in here. We do the shows, employee of the month. The reason we do employee of the month is firstly to recognize the staff and say, well done, you've done a great job. And also to market. We're talking about marketing today. So any opportunity you get, whether you're on events, whether you're doing something fun, whether you're out with your family, whatever it is, quick selfie, don't overthink it, get it posted. What's Ked doing now is Woody's competition. So as you can see, the content's just so varied, colorful, smiley, happy. And you've seen yesterday, jumping on the bandwagon of certain days and events, whether it's Easter, Christmas, recognizing International Women's Day. And of course, we've got things like the Platinum Jubilee, anything like that that's coming up, you want to be posting about it because people relate to it. And it's so important. So coming on to LinkedIn, my favorite by means of personal, and the word without doubt is professional. LinkedIn is, I'm going to say it on camera, very snotty. It is. It's full of people that have an opinion. It's full of people that want great content, which is brilliant. It's full of people that want to pick at things, but it's also full of people that want to praise. So LinkedIn for me is the best platform to establish a personal brand and to put yourself out there that you're the best at what you do. Now, you need to start today. I'm going to slow down on this bit. You need to start today. You need to have a look at your LinkedIn profile. Make sure your picture's professional. Make sure that your about doesn't say mortgage and protection advisor. Who cares that you're a mortgage and protection advisor? Everyone's a mortgage and protection advisor on LinkedIn. What do you do? Think of a slogan that you do. In your about, spend some time putting some really good stuff together within your about. Write a freaking essay, because people will look at that on LinkedIn and they'll say, this person does a proper job. That's what LinkedIn's about. It's not a Facebook, it's not an Instagram. It's professional people looking for the best. It's looking for people that they could drag in to work with their business. It's looking for people that they can trust to do a good job, get it done quick, because they ain't got time to drag it out. They're running businesses. They know they've got a need, but they need someone to be a pebble in the shoe that's professionally going to be a pebble in the shoe, not an annoyance like a salesperson. Come to me, come to me, come to me. Now, what you'll find with LinkedIn is that you'll start to get messages off recruitment people, or every time you add someone, they message you going, have you thought about sending out 5,000 leaflets this week? We can help you. That doesn't work. Be a real person. So if someone messages you on LinkedIn, you message someone on LinkedIn, just wanted to say thanks for becoming a connection. If I could help you with anything in the future, you know where I am. You don't need to ask for anything, because they'll then start to see your content. But they'll come back to you and they'll say, oh, thanks a lot. That's really kind. Kindness takes you a long way. It's so important. We're in a world now where flyers are a thing of the past. Who wants a piece of paper in their hand now? Nobody. Do you know what I mean? Who wants a business card now? Nobody. Do you know what I mean? When somebody wants to reach out to you, they'll reach out to you through this, through your mobile phone. Give them your phone number, or even better, ask for their number and say to them, listen, I'll text you my number. I'll send you my social media links as well. Send it on LinkedIn. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot you can do with LinkedIn, but the biggest thing with LinkedIn is you've got to interact. LinkedIn is the best platform for being organic. So what I mean by organic is Joe Blogs likes your post. All Joe Blogs connections are now going to see your post. Huge. Instagram doesn't work that way. Facebook doesn't really work that way anymore. LinkedIn does. It's organic. So when you post and you sat there waiting for someone to like your post, again, it's not a popularity contest. It's not always about likes, but likes do help with LinkedIn. Shares, comments, you sat there waiting and you don't get any likes and comments. Do you want me to tell you why? Because you're not liking their posts. You need to be engaging to get more engagement. It's as simple as that. So whoever you're connected to on LinkedIn, go down the timeline. Don't just put great post. Don't just put love that. Give them some value. Ask them a question so they come back and answer. Do you mean? So generally like the post if you're going to comment on it. If it's a good post, do you know what? I thought really interesting, especially the bit about this. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Now, this is going to take time, but you have to commit time to your social media. So whether it's last thing you do before you go to bed, first thing you do in the morning, what you do just as your lunch finishes, whatever it is, make sure that you do it and do it consistently. But little efforts repeated bring big results. So you don't have to put hours of work into this, but if you put 10 minutes a day into it, it's a good amount of time to be doing over weeks and months and years for sure. So LinkedIn, I'm just going to share that platform with you. It's in a world of its own. Now, anyone needs any logos, banners, etc. for your banners, etc. on LinkedIn, just reach out to me. I'll get them sent over to you. But again, use your own. You know, I'm asking everyone at the moment to think about, you know, where you want to specialize within protection, especially. And whatever area that is, you should be relatable within your content. And we've said that within Instagram, within Facebook, but LinkedIn especially. Now, you can see where my name is here. Underneath it, it says who I am, what I do, and then more specific what they can come to me for. So I'm a business protection specialist. I'm not an insurance salesman. I'm not a protection advisor. I'm business protection. I'm telling you, be business owners. I'm telling them I've got 20 years experience. This lad knows his stuff. 20 years, that's good. So what will they offer me? Oh, executive income protection. I wonder what that is. Could do with a bit of that. Shareholder protection. I'm a shareholder. Key person protection. If you've got a business, you know what that is. You should know what that is. So with regards to your profile, that's really important. But of course, when it comes to day-to-day, you're going to see that there's posts from all types of people, all types of worlds, but you're going to have certain connections that you start to relate to. And when it comes to kind of social media with LinkedIn, spend a bit of time liking it. So I've got to be careful what I'm going to read out now. Now, if we look at like Wendy was, you know, from Zurich. She did a Sharpen the Saw event for us. She's done a post from Protection Guru. And of course, they talked about Protection Guru last night and they said, you know, are you following it? Are you engaging with that? It'll give you some good content. They do. You can see that it's talking about Zurich. But you know what I mean? Like Wendy's post, put on Wendy's, you know, thinking, hope you're doing great. Better spell it right, or especially with LinkedIn, they'll be picking on me. That's a big one. So I've put, great read, Wendy. Love this. What's your thoughts on Protection Guru? And again, can't type when people are watching. Now, what's Wendy going to do now? she's going to see this video for one, and she's going to go, you didn't mean that question. But what she's going to do, she's going to come back and go, I think it's really good. Da, 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 da. So I'm now engaging with Wendy. That makes me become part of her network. So when I post today, all Wendy's friends are going to see my posts. So do that to, 2, 3, 5, 10 people a day and get engaging with your audience. Do you mean with LinkedIn as well? Connections are called connections for a reason. You can connect with people. In other words, you can talk to them through LinkedIn. You can post to them. You can like and love the post, but you can also bloody well meet up with them. COVID's gone. We're in a position now where you need to be getting around people and networking. And it's full of people that have got businesses or work within businesses that are full of clientele that you need to get around. So it's huge that you need to do that. So follow the likes of the protection gurus. You'll get a lot of information from that, and that's good for your product knowledge and your advice and your sales side of things. You'll get a lot of that within LinkedIn as well. But also with regards to your connections, connect with them. I mean, don't just make them a robot in the background that you read the post. Connect with them, have a chat with them, message them direct. It's really important. And you'll find out so much stuff on here that is very, I suppose the word I'm looking for is very to the point, professional, but sometimes a little bit boring. I'm going to be honest, there's some boring stuff on there, but it's boring to you, but it's not boring to everyone. And you'll find that with your content, people will think the same. So it's really important that you trust what you're doing. Again, that consistency needs to come. Trust what you're doing, believe in what you do. We always talk about having a passion for what you do, fire in your belly, but don't just have the passion, portray it within your posts, within your communication, within your images, within your video content, especially, bring that energy, if anything. So LinkedIn, again, the biggest thing with LinkedIn is that it's organic. For me, you need to jump on there and really, get to the point where you've built an audience and people are watching your posts and you're getting people engaging with you. Now, again, it's not a popularity contest with likes, but it is by means of connecting with people. So as you can see, there's all types of platforms you can look at. Pinterest, YouTube. We've got our own YouTube channel. I started this video today by saying, if anyone's watching this on YouTube, subscribe, like the video, comments on it, give us any feedback so we can improve in the future. Do you know what I mean? We don't just want positive comments. We want negative as well. We want to learn from the experience of posting these. Twitter, I've not touched on. I'm not big with Twitter myself, but that doesn't mean it's not right for you. But I believe within financial services, the audience you need to be really touching to are Facebook, Instagram, and professionally for LinkedIn. So download the apps, make sure your profiles are set up, spend some time making sure they're there and they're working for you, but then do it. That's the biggest one. Don't put it aside because you've got too many appointments this week. Don't put it aside because you've got some admin to do and get a case over. Don't put it aside because you've got a training event and you haven't had time. You have got time because if it's in your diary, that time is allocated for, which is really important. Now, this quote came from Gary V. I don't know if you know Gary V. If you don't know Gary V, then you need to follow him. Follow him on Instagram, follow him on Facebook. He'll give you so much information with regards to social media. But the quote is give value, give value, give value. What? Business. Say it again, give value, give value, give value, then ask. Yeah. So what we mean by that is people don't want a pebble in the shoe on the social media saying, do you want some income protection? Do you want some life insurance? Can I protect your family? Do you need a mortgage sorting out? Do you want to borrow some extra money? People aren't bothered about that because they need to know who they're dealing with first. There's a reason you deal with, think of as a good example. There's a reason why you will buy a can of Coke. It's because Coke are good. Yeah. It tastes good, but the brand's good. Everyone wants the best, don't they? So the reason why you wear designer clothes is because they're known to be good. People like to show, etc. This, that, the other. So when you're giving value, you're showing people out there that you know what you're on about. You can prove you're a specialist without them even dealing with you. They know that you are going to be good for them and you're going to get the job done in the way that it should be done. So give value, give value, give value. That doesn't mean the same thing. It means talk about giving gratitude. Listen, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who liked my posts last week. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'm not going to talk about business today. It's all about you. I think you're all amazing. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next week. That's a good post on a Friday. What you can do as well, especially with LinkedIn, you can tag the person that has liked your posts throughout the week. Now, it takes a bit of time, that, but every person, if not 80% of them, come back and say, bless you, I really appreciate that. No problem. We'll keep engaging. It's at the other. Now, that absolutely works to a T, because you then portray that you're a good person, which everyone on this call is a good person. Everyone in the company is a great person. That's what we recruit on character. And you need to portray that, but then give value is, talk about, what you learned last night with regards to your provider presentation. What was the USP you pulled out? 2 of them. Do you mean I can get you income protection up to 70% of your income? And if you're a smoker, penalised for it. So if you're a smoker, I need to speak to you. Short and sweet. I mean, people have struggled to get cover before because they've got a high BMI. The medical history in the background is not very good. Well, don't worry. I specialise in arranging this kind of cover, and I can get it with providers that are specialist and unique to you. So if you've been refused before, you won't be refused with me. You need to speak to me. Give value. Why should they come to you? And then also, when it says give value, do you mean come away from business? Maybe put a post out about, you're at the gym. But when you're saying you're at the gym, don't say I'm at the gym pushing weights. I'm at the gym doing club size, like Shannon does at work. What you need to say is, I'm at the gym. I'm just taking a rest away from protecting my self-employed clients and building my energy up so I can go back on a really busy afternoon with my customers. So in other words, what you're saying is, I deal with self-employed people. I'm already really busy. So if you want some of me, you better be quick. But I'm at the gym. Everyone relates to being at the gym. So give value, give value, give value. It's giving different content. But then, of course, there's got to be an element where you do ask within the week. And you say to them, listen, you've probably seen my content. If you've seen my content and you like what I do, I'd love to help you out. Now, if you're in need and you're self-employed, as an example, come to me. I want to do it for you. Be direct. People feel like they can't be direct, which is absolute madness. You can be direct. You need to get to the point. If you need to arrange, you've been thinking about arranging it and you keep putting it off, come to me. Now, there's a lot of people out there that are very humble and on social media, and they turn around and go, listen, there's a lot of people out there that do this, and you could get it through other brokers as well, but I'd love to help you. But if it's not me, reach out to someone else. It's really important you get it done. Nah, listen, forget about anyone else. I'll do a proper job for you. Yeah, come to me. That's exactly what we want to be doing. So just here we go. Vibes speak louder than words. Who've we got on the call? Let's have a look. Let's just pick on someone. Who looks the most nervous? Oh, Kaylee's looking nervous. Kate's looking down. Emma's not got a camera on. She's probably been washing her hair again.
No.
I'm going to go to Rachel. Rachel, come on, talk to me. What does that mean?
Hello. Vibes. So yeah, like you said, energy.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Positivity.
Yeah.
Knowledge. Skill.
Yeah.
Loads.
Amazing. The first word you come out with is the best one. Energy.
Energy.
Social media, people love energy.
Yeah.
If you do a post, let me just stop that share a minute. If you do a post like this, hi everyone, Mark here at Fortune Financial. I'm just talking to you today because I had an experience last week. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, people are going to be like, they'll turn off. So you've got to go, morning, how you doing? Mark here at Fortune Financial. Firstly, I want to say have a fantastic day. Boom, and you're off. Bring the energy. Put your chest up. Put your chin up. I mean, you might not be full of energy yourself, but for that 30 seconds you do the video, you need to bring some energy because people will get used to the energy. Again, you'll be unique. You'll stand out. If you're sat in your car and you're all tense and tight, you've got your tie on or you've got your coat on and you're all like, listen, if you're self-employed, I'd love to help you out. It isn't going to work. Do you know what I mean? Relax, shake it off, and then go for it. Tell them, bring the energy, because it's all that's going to work. It's the only way you're going to do it. Trust me, the vibes you put out are what will attract your clients. People want to deal with people. And what I mean by people is good people, energetic people. Actually, you just named them all. Great answer what you said. Hit the nail on the head. So bring the energy, and don't be concerned that you're bringing too much bloody energy. There's someone on this call, and I won't pick on them, Emma, that I've said, you'll be so good with social media if you just step outside that comfort zone, because your personality shines. Everyone calls you mad as a box of frogs. Yeah,
Thanks.
people love that. You know, that's what you're loved for. Do you know what I mean? Of course, there's a lot of other qualities as well, but when you come to our offices, they can hear you on ground floor, never mind top floor. Do you know what I mean? It's your energy that you bring, and that's what people want to see. Now, you know what I mean? You've got to dress in a certain way, and I'm not saying you need to have a shirt and tie or in a suit on, or do you know what I mean, a formal dress. I'm saying you've got to bring your own brand. Do you know what I mean? Whatever that is, be consistent with it. Do you know what I mean? I've got a brandy top on today as an example. I'm more relaxed. I considered putting a shirt on this morning, and I thought, nah, it's not going to happen. But you know, Emma, if you do a post once a week and do a video and getting the confidence doing video, you'll get loads of business from it.
Yeah.
Kayla, you know, you're an expert now in protection. You can call yourself a specialist now. You know your shit, but nobody's seeing that, because you do a great job of telling it to your clients, but you're not telling it to the people that aren't your clients and giving them a reason to come to you. Kid, we've said for a long time, you're such a good teacher of what you do. That's what we're asking to do. Give value, teach people about what you know. Now, that can be for mortgages. It doesn't have to just be protection. When it comes to mortgages, there's so much specialist areas that you talk about day in, day out, that when you pick up a good one or you find something out that you didn't know, tell everyone about it, because people will want to know who Kate is and why is the senior advisor at Fortune Financial. You know, and other people that are on the call, Rachel, Agolta, you know, you're new to it. So again, establish your areas. You know, and we've got Kelly with home insurance. Now, Kelly, you're saying you want to be top for home insurance. Nobody knows you're a home insurance advisor out of Fortune Financial, I believe. Maybe one or two friends you know. But make sure that everyone you know knows. Do a post once a week on home insurance and why they should come to you. Because you're a lovely person, great character, like everyone is on the call this morning. So consistency, do you know what I mean? Consistency is key. We've spoken about it throughout the session. If you're not consistent, then you're going to be wasting your time. It's as simple as that. You have to post, you know, minimum weekly. For me, a couple of times a week, a few times a week, ideally. And if you do post on that basis, then people are going to continue to see your content, and they're going to find out and recognize that, you know, you are the character that we brought you into the business for. You are the specialist they need to deal with, and they'll reach out, or you'll reach out to them, and, you know, they'll deal with you for business. There's not much more to be said on that. We've talked about it throughout the last hour session. So, you know, personal branding, again, one-to-one mentoring. I've been doing that with a lot of people. You know, find out what your area is. I mean, it doesn't mean that you've got to sit within that area forever. I mean, if you're going to specialize within that self-employment model, then specialize in it. But if someone comes to you as employed, of course you're going to still do in business. It doesn't mean you can't do the other areas. You know, if you're doing tradesman and a doctor comments in your post, of course you're going to still go to him. But you need to personal brand yourself within your social media content so you become relatable to people. So the groups you're going to be joining, we've talked about, the posts you're going to be putting out, make them relatable. Choose what your area that it's going to be, and then stick to it and be consistent with it. And people will get to know you as the go-to person for that area. That's the world we're in. Now, just finally, social media now is the way of the world. If you want to interact with people, it's the way of getting in front of people. So you really need to understand that if you don't do it, you're losing. You're losing. Simple as that. People are taking over you at being the go-to person for what you do. Jump on LinkedIn now. You'll see 4 or 5 people through the Primus network that are doing it right, and they're getting so much engagement, and you need to not copy what they do, but look at what they do and learn from it and then make it your own. Whoever does this now will be the top advisors over the next year, 2 year, 5 years. Social media's been around for a long, long time, but people are still missing a trick with it. And the reason for that is they're not doing it right. The purpose of today's session is to really pinpoint down what you need to do, how you need to do it. And don't get me wrong, use the likes of Google to get more tips. Again, I'm not a social media expert. I've just learned a lot over the months and years of running a business and posting and using social media. So there's a lot more you can add to it, but the more time and effort you put into it, the more results you're going to get from it as well. So that's the end of the session. Anyone's got any questions and they want to stay on the chat, by all means, stay on the chat. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Tried to make it an hour. We're just about there, just over slightly. But as I say, don't watch this if you're watching on YouTube, or don't watch this now, here now live. Go, enjoyed that, and then go away and do nothing about it. Because what I'm going to do now, throughout this year, we're growing the business to have multiple advisors joining. And the ones that will be successful are likely going to be the ones that use the social media correctly. And you're going to stand out from the crowd. So we've got an awards tomorrow evening. Next year, we'll have a social media award for sure. So think about what you're doing. Think about your audience you want to hit, and bloody well go for it, you know, and stand out from the crowd and be good at what you do. Bring some energy and enjoy it as well. But don't overthink it. It doesn't have to take forever. So enjoy your day, smash it, make the most of it, and I'll see you all soon.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye.